for the people that were on the other stream. It's been a bit of a rocky start of the day, but hopefully now everything is going fine. And then you can hear me properly, and I will kickstart the stream again. Let's give maybe couple of minutes to the people joining, and then we can take it from there. I see that one person's already came here. Oh, one person and one like. That's great. Yeah, maybe give a few seconds for people to join. Hello, 100x John. I was saying, sorry, I just noticed that I was having some issues with the settings on the other stream. I hope that now everything is okay. I think it's important to say that, I do appreciate Boppy quite a bit. You guys are really the rabid community, bunch of lunatics. I say that positively. That's what you want to see in a crypto community, particularly a Memecoin community, right? You want to see the believers, the lunatics coming back from big adversity. I think at the lowest you were at $58,000 market cap, and now you guys are close to 1.8 million or so. So all of that is actually quite positive. And as you guys know, I came into that community at $608,000 market cap 5 days ago, and of course I already 3x my money, which in 5 days, which I'm very happy with it. But let's take crypto a little bit at the end. I think what's obviously you saw Dow Jones, S&P putting in new all-time highs. The Nasdaq 100, I'm not sure if they put an intraday all-time high, but if not, we are actually very, very close. I think we are less than 1.5% away. And even the Russell is around 9% of its previous all-time high. So all of that is very positive. And once again, you should always pay attention. About 500 billion of new debt has been created in the past month or so. And the deficit is already above $2 trillion. And we are not even at year end. So you still have half of October to go, and you have November and December. And that is the liquidity and the currency debasement that I've been talking about for months on end. And even when people were saying that we could not have new all-time highs in the stock market because interest rates were very high, I said, and you guys for the old viewers, you remember, I've been saying since 2023, when everybody was predicting depressions and all of this kind of stuff, I said we're going to get new all-time highs in the stock market before Q1 2024, which we did, and then we're going to continue to have them as long as liquidity is being created. And liquidity is created on two sides. You have the Fed here with low interest rates and quantitative easing, but you have the Treasury with deficit spending on this side. So both of them work sometimes one against the other, like now, but in parallel. So I ask you, if we are already at these levels with the Fed kind of restrictive and only the Treasury pumping, what's going to happen when the Fed also pumps? And so there is a bit more macro view beyond the next election, beyond the next 12 weeks, beyond it's a little bit further into the future. And we are in 2024, and the interest expense on the debt in the US is already the third largest item of the budget. And this will increase because more and more debt is being refinanced at the current high interest rates, but also more deficits are happening and accumulating into the existing debt, which means the only way to deal with it is with having zero interest rates. And in my prediction, before 2030, the US will have negative rates for the first time in history. I truly believe that, which means risk assets do very well. And people don't understand. Think about all the things that have been thrown against the market in the past. Just take 4 years, right? You had a global pandemic. You had conflicts in Europe, in the Middle East. You've had high inflation. You had the strongest tightening, or the fastest and strongest tightening since the 70s. You had mass okay, I cannot say these words, otherwise I'm gonna get shadow banned. You had mass people that you're not aware from other countries popping into your country. We've had massive bankruptcies, high mortgage rates. Whatever you look at, you had plenty of negatives, and here we are at new all-time highs. Why? Because, as I mentioned, there's no connection between the stock market and the real economy. There's no connection. The stock market is all driven by money supply and liquidity, and also the crypto market. Now, the crypto market pumps harder because it's a smaller market, and because it doesn't have overhead costs, typically, like a company has, and most cryptos don't have senior management that issue more shares whenever the share price is going up. So that's why crypto outperforms everything. Now, I have to say something about gold, because gold has made a new all-time high, $2,725, I think, dollars, which is pretty much, more or less, a new all-time high adjusted for inflation since 2011. Now, Peter Schiff on Twitter is going crazy, as you can imagine. He's going super happy, despite the fact that he predicted gold 5,000 in 2010, and we are in 2024, and we barely crossed 50% of his prediction. He talks about everything in real terms, adjusted for inflation, right? Except the price of gold. And the reason is because then things don't look so well. And actually, I saw some guy, I don't remember his name, but he was posting something on his feed. Basically, he went to ChatGPT or something, and he asked the question, hey, how is gold price compared to CPI and money supply increase? So what should be the price of gold versus, for example, 1980, which was the top of $850. So for gold to break even, I was shocked when I read this. I actually had to go and do it myself. For gold to break even in real terms, that means adjusted for CPI, and mind you, this is government data. To make a new all-time high adjusted for CPI and money supply increase, we need gold to go close to $40,000. Can you believe that? Close to $40,000 to break even, not to make money, to break even. That's how bad that investment is. And I don't understand how we have so many debates with people and nobody just pulls out this fact. You need gold at $40,000 to break even from 1980. That's 44 years ago. You need gold to go to $5,800 or $6,000 to break even from 2011. So basically, you're not even half there yet. That's crazy. But here he is, like, celebrating like crazy on Twitter, and people are like, oh my God, you called it so well. No, he didn't. He hates the best performing asset class in history, which is crypto. Now, there's a question here I see, crypto life. Is the bull market back? The bull market has never gone anywhere. I'm not sure if you're talking about, stocks should be obvious, right? We are at new all-time highs. Even the DAX in Germany made a new all-time high. The FTSE in the UK is very close to a new all-time high. The bull market didn't go anywhere. By the way, I just want to say something, because the ECB cut rates this week. A third time, 25 basis points. This is driven mainly because the euro inflation dropped to below 2%, so to around 1.8%. And Germany announced that now they expect their GDP to contract in the year of 2024, contract to 0.2% down, basically. So now they have, of course, green light to print, and they've been printing. And guess what? Inflation has been coming down. Now, which country has also been printing and inflation's been coming down? China. What else? Canada. Who else? UK. It seems like since they've lowered rates, inflation keeps coming sharply down. As we've discussed in this channel so many times, because people will say, oh no, they need to keep rates high because inflation is a bit hotter than expected. I say, no. If they decrease rates faster in the US, you'll see that inflation coming down sharply as well. interest rates are the cost of money. If you reduce that cost that everybody pays, companies and consumers, then you have lower inflation across the economy. Now, I don't know if I need to explain once again about the why printing money and lowering interest rates doesn't create inflation. If I need to do it, I'll happily do it once again. But I think it's pretty obvious. I've covered that quite often here in the channel. Now, Bitcoin is sitting above $68,000 and 68.2, 68.1. What I've seen a little bit in the past few weeks is that Saturday tends to be a little bit of a red month, and then Sundays reverse whatever Saturday did, and then when we're approaching the Asian opening, then you start having the green or the red coming out a little bit more aggressively. So there's a big fight here around 68, between 68 and 69 is a big fight. Of course, 69 was the previous all-time high. But I think if we cross the 69 level, if we go into the 70s, I think we will jump quite quickly. And it's also aligned with the typical crypto cycle and the typical liquidity cycle. As you guys know, I've predicted this on the day of the Japanese debacle, that Bitcoin would be above $80,000 before the end of November. So we are now, entering the end of October. So in about a month, I do expect Bitcoin to be above $80,000 by, of course, maybe it happens a little bit earlier, right? Maybe it happens next week. What I'm saying is, before November, before the end of November, I do think that's going to happen. We'll see if I'm right on that one. I've been predicting well the cycle. When we were at new all-time highs for Bitcoin back in March at 24,000, I was saying that Bitcoin was going to go between 47 and 52,000. I did expect it before 19th of July. However, it happened in the 5th of August. So where Bitcoin went from, it touched 48,000. And then I said, okay, that's the bottom. Hope you guys caught it. Probably the last time you're ever going to see Bitcoin with a 4 from 40, obviously, 1,000 behind it. And so I hope that you've taken notice. And I've been mentioning even last week, the last time that we saw, 2 weeks ago, when we saw Bitcoin at 58, 59,000, I say maybe this was the last time you saw Bitcoin with a 5. You will know in the future, but I think so. I think there's a very good chance. And I've been telling you, there's going to be a time where you're going to see a 5 before the number of Bitcoin for the last time. And we'll see if then in the bear market we come this low. Probably not. It will depend a little bit where the top is going to be. But if I do think that the top will be 242 to 276,000 on Bitcoin and Ethereum between 25 and 29,000, then I don't see Bitcoin coming to the 50K range again. Maybe, to the 75K range, probably, but not anymore to the 50s level. That's my expectation. Maybe I'm completely wrong and it completely collapses. Now, Ethereum, right? I need to talk about this because Ethereum has been one of the things that I got wrong in the beginning of the year. I thought that Ethereum would outperform Bitcoin earlier, but I was also expecting the Fed to cut rates earlier. So I think that actually mixes a little bit with the reasoning behind my expectations. But I do believe that, both for Ethereum and Bitcoin, it's important to stay above the 68,000. 67 is fine. We kind of retraced to 66 last week. That's also fine. And we went to, that we stay above 68 is good. Ethereum, that we stay above 2,600 is good. Those are the things that I want to see. But I already saw Crypto Banter talking slightly positive about Ethereum again. And that's because Ethereum is 8% up on the week. And this is the same guy that like 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago was saying that he had quit his toxic 4-year abusive relationship with Ethereum. This is what I said. He sold all his Ethereum, he's out, he's finished with Ethereum. And I said here in this channel, when Ethereum starts to pump or shows any signs of life, these people will come back to Ethereum and they will talk about it like they've been positioned this whole time, which makes me believe one of two things. Either they never sold their Ethereum, they're lying, or they are leveraging a renewed interest in Ethereum for clickbait, for ad revenue, for sponsorships, for whatever. But basically, one thing is for sure, is not honest to their followers. And what I mean by that is this. I've said, like, everybody now, every YouTuber, every influencer is super hot on Sui and on Solana. It's been very popular, right? And everybody has given up on Ethereum. Ethereum is dead, it's finished, it's clumsy, it's old, it's expensive, all negative stuff, right? Which for me is great, because that means that all these influencers are not positioned for a good Ethereum move. The reason why I love Ethereum meme coins, like Boppy, we have a lot of community here in the channel, is because they are doing well despite Ethereum underperforming. Which makes you ask, what's going to happen when Ethereum is doing great? That's a very good question. I don't know. I think they have a lot of potential exactly because of that. You see, because since all the influencers are always talking about Solana and Sui, Solana and Sui, Solana and Sui. For example, at work I have a guy who is typically a Bitcoin maxi. Now he has become a little bit more friendly to our other coins. And I told him, look, I'm not in Bitcoin, I'm always in altcoins. And say, oh, which ones? Solana and Sui? So basically, the two that I could name. And the reason why you ask me about those two? Oh, because I see everybody talking about them. And once again, people always get this wrong. Because everyone is talking about it. That means everyone, or a large part of the population, is positioned on those coins. Which means they are waiting for retail to come into those so they can serve as exit liquidity to them. That's it. Which means that when Ethereum gets the money coming, all these guys will need to shift into Ethereum later in the game, which is going to be painful for them. My position with Ethereum has been very consistent. Yes, Ethereum has been underperforming, but in this first half of the cycle, no, there's no confusion about it. Solana has been outperforming. BNB has been outperforming quietly. By the way, BNB is a coin that nobody talks about. It went down less than Bitcoin during the bear market, and it reached a new all-time high before Solana and before Ethereum, and nobody pays attention to it. Oh, but it's manipulated. Yeah, I don't care. If you actually, held BNB the entire time, you would have made a lot of money, right? And you could cry holding your dollars in your hands. Now, Sui and Solana have done very, very well in the first half of the cycle, which means it has gathered all the attention, or most of the attention. Ethereum has underperformed quite aggressively, which means is completely hated by everyone now. But that's the opportunity, you see, because everyone's already on this side of the table. Particularly, I find it weird that there's such an interest in Sui as we approach very closely the time for vesting of, meaning a lot of tokens on Sui will be unlocked, which means people that are up a lot will be able to sell now. It's curious that there's so much coordinated promotion of that coin. Is it to attract people to serve as exit liquidity for the tokens being released? I don't know. I think it's a fair question. Or is just attracting attention because it is made all-time highs, people have took note of it, and then of course the influencers, because they partially at least live off YouTube, they need to talk about whatever is popular to get the views. So for example, now it's popular to trash Ethereum, so they trash Ethereum. If Ethereum starts to outperform, then Ethereum becomes the darling once again. And everybody believed in Ethereum. And there was never a doubt about Ethereum. And everyone is happy with Ethereum now. You see the point? First of all, they will deny the rally, because they will try to create some sort of heavy selling in order for them to come in and grab the dip at the latest. Eventually, they will be the heaviest promoters of Ethereum, and they will pretend that they were never against it. You see, I've been very consistent here. The reason why I love Ethereum and PulseChain is because everybody hates it. So by the time that they understand how good both of them are, I'm already positioned and they are not. That is called opportunity. That is called asymmetry in information. I mean, is my opinion, as you can imagine. I'm not trying to convince you, to give you financial advice or anything. This is how I see. I want to go, for example, of all the Matt Fury tokens, I loved Boppy for a couple of reasons when I looked at it. Number one, strong lunatic community. Great. Number two, it went down a lot. I mean, talking about beneath 100K market cap. And it came back with the same willpower, with same everything. Lower user base, which means it's easy to grow. You see, Metcalfe's law. If your user base goes up tenfold, your price goes up 100-fold. If your user base goes up 100-fold, your price goes up 10,000-fold, which is 100 squared, 100 times 100. And this is the key, is to try to catch, and of course, but it's a lottery ticket. So I put in what, $1,200, maybe 608K market cap. That's good enough. I mean, I don't need to put $100,000 into it. No, $1,000 is good enough. I think it's an educated gamble, in my opinion. Gamble. You see the word gamble? That's not a certainty, it's a gamble. Oh, Sudden, my friend, great call on Boppy. Thank you, thanks a lot, Soldier, for the super chat. I don't need to do it, by the way, please. I mean, I hope that, please, I'll tell you something, right? What I've done is I've activated, so I managed to get monetized in my first year, and I've kept it on because it seems to distribute better my videos. But Soldier, you've been here for a while, for a long time already, and you know very well my position, which is, think about all the predictions that actually got correct against the amount of people saying the exact opposite. I could have created by now a private trading group, a private watch list, a Discord for $10 a month. I could have done all of that. Maybe sell you like some of the technical indicators I look at. I could have done it, but I purposely don't ask you. I don't ask money of you for anything. There's no wallet in my description. There's nothing. I don't ask you. I don't sell you anything, because that way I will never be called a scammer. How can I be a scammer if I don't sell you anything, right? So even though I've turned on my monetization, I've never filled, I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but you need to fill things like, you need to put your bank account details, you need to submit tax statements in order to be able to get paid by YouTube. And I didn't do it on purpose, which means that all the ad revenue that I have, etc., gets, it's on my account, but has never come over my bank account. And I've done it on purpose because my plan is actually, at the end of the cycle, I will show to the community how much money is there, and I will just donate everything to charity, and I will show you the receipts of everything, so you'll see that it's all true, that I never took a penny of YouTube by anyone. And I refuse, and that way nobody could ever accuse me of doing anything, because if I stand behind what I say, if I think that I can retire, that I can go from middle class to retirement in 2 years, and I broadcast my journey all the way through, video by video by video, why do I need your $10 or $50 a month? Why? I don't need it. The reason why I don't need it is because if I'm actually good at what I'm doing, I will be successful enough where the $50 or so on makes no difference to me. By the way, Soldier, don't get it wrong. I really appreciate the super chat that you gave me. I really understand where it comes from and the appreciation. I'm just trying to tell you, my approach on YouTube has always been different, because I've always been super cautious that people can never at any point call me a scammer or a deceiver in any way, because there's no way to give me money. Basically, that's what I'm saying. And the only reason I get the monetization up is to make sure that my videos get more distributed than if I'm demonetized. That's it. It's purely in order to reach out to more people. But I really appreciate what you've done. I already what Boppy is, the gift that keeps on giving. Oh, thank you, Joao. John Magnetic. Yeah, so Boppy is basically a meme coin revolving around the Matt Fury narrative. And of course, you have this narrative going in every single chain pretty much, but I only focus on Ethereum because, once again, Ethereum has been underperforming, which means that if the coins are already doing very well in that environment of Ethereum's underperformance, then when Ethereum overperforms, which I think is going to happen, can I promise that's going to happen? Can I guarantee that Ethereum is going to do very well? Can I guarantee that these meme coins will do very well? Of course not. It's a calculated risk, right? I mean, it's an educated guess, but that to me is a bit investing, right? Is having your risk-reward ratio calibrated to your tolerance, and basically try to see if the way you're thinking eventually makes sense. So basically, Maxim, I will answer in a little bit, okay? So basically, Boppy is one of those characters. Now, the first character, the one that everybody knows, is Pepe, with the address 0x69. I got on Andy at 1.5 million market cap, and it's now at 172 million market cap or so. So I got a lottery ticket at Andy following the theory of, okay, the Matt Fury tokens, the Ribbity theory that your friend Somi also made famous. And I actually made some money on other coins like Wolf. Wolf is another character. But the problem that I had with Wolf is at some point you had like 8 different coins on Ethereum of Wolf. So which one is going to succeed? Which one is too confusing? Brett on Ethereum, same problem. Bird Dog, I actually made about a 14x on Bird Dog, but I'm completely out. I've disclosed that to you. So at the moment I have Andy, that I got in at 1.5 million market cap. I got Hoppy, which I got in at around 1 million market cap. And I got Matt Fury, the token itself, in which I got in at 1.6 or 7 million market cap, around that level. And Boppy, which I got in at $608,000 market cap. I announced it on the 14th of October. You can see my video in the description. I wrote the address. If you watch the video, you know how much money I put in. And you know the market cap that I got in. Once again, I always disclose it when I do it. I don't invest in 500 coins and then wait for 1 or 2 to succeed. And then I come here, hey, I picked that coin, I don't know where, hey, yeah, trust me, bro, I got in at 1 million market. No, I say it on the day. And I've said that, for example, with Foti, which was Pepe's girlfriend, I lost 66% of my investment. There was another one, I don't remember the name, but basically I lost 100% of my investment. So I've always said about my failures as well. The key with lottery tickets is I got more than 100x on Andy and more than 100x on Hoppy. And currently I'm 3x on Boppy. So these 3 already paid hundreds of lottery tickets. Even if I decide to start just throwing, $1,000 around to every coin that moves, it will take me a long time before I lose all the money that I made on those lottery tickets. Moreover, I've sold my principal and profit in every single one of those coins except Boppy. Boppy, I haven't done it yet, but all the others I've done it, which means that even if they go to 0, I'm already well in profit. That's the key. So that's why I'm always so relaxed. You see, like, for example, Andy goes from 320 million to 48 million, which, by the way, I said here that it was possible. And this goes into the crypto life question about the bull market. During bull markets in crypto, Bitcoin can go down 40%, and altcoins can go down up to 85%. This is what I said months ago, right? Remember, I said this when Bitcoin was at 74,000. Nobody wants to hear this because everybody was talking about Bitcoin 100K, Bitcoin 120K. These times we have ETFs. Because we have ETFs, there's not going to be a halving correction like all the other cycles had, right? All these theories, and I said, okay, look, I think we're going to have a post-halving correction. Because otherwise, what you're advocating for, it's a buy the rumor, buy the news event, which I've never seen in history. I have seen plenty of buy the rumor, sell the news, but never a buy the rumor, buy the news. And here we are, Japanese debacle happens, Bitcoin goes to 48K. I said in March 47 to 52K. We went to 48K. I mean, how close can it be, right? And then I said, this is the bottom. And it was the bottom on the day. And I said it, and I was convinced. And everybody was predicting what? Bitcoin 30K, Bitcoin 20K. Now, I said altcoins can go down up to 85%. Andy went to 320 million. 320 million to 48 million. That's an 85% drop. And I said, oh, this looks like the bottom. And it was 48 million, and now we are at 171 million. And I have all these videos. I mean, I don't delete videos. They are all uploaded. So you can always check it. So every time that I buy a lottery ticket, so everybody knows that my retirement coins, what I call my retirement coins, are PulseChain, PulseX, X, Hedron, Icosa, and 50% incentive token. Then lottery tickets, I have Andy, Opie, Matt, Boppy. I sold Pikamoon, I sold Bird Dog, I sold all of that as a profit. I lost money on 40, I lost money on D-Lens, I lost money on AI Doge. But like my lottery tickets, you guys know it's somewhere between $700 and $1,000, right? Then I have PulseSpot, which is not doing great on PulseChain. I have Pulse Launch, which is not doing great on PulseChain. Then I have PDAI, which is doing great, which is doing not great, but good on PulseChain. Yeah, and then I have the other coins. Then that's it. I don't have anything else at the moment. But every time that I was buying into these coins, I always wrote in the description the address, the time, the market cap that I got in, or in the case of PulseChain, etc., the average price that I have in each of those coins. So I've always been extremely transparent. So you guys know perfectly that if the coins that I've disclosed go to zero, you can come here and annihilate me and insult me and trash me completely. You are allowed to do it because I've said it well ahead of time. Look, Boppy is the best example. I've talked about it 14th of October. If you go to the video, you'll see it. And you check the chart, it was $608,000 or so, and now it's 1.8 million. I could have just waited and say, hey guys, I bought this coin at 600K, and now it's 2 million. Haha, look at how smart I am. No, I always disclose it when I do it, not because I want to entice you to copy me. No, the idea is not that. Is the purpose of this video or of this channel, first of all, was to expose YouTube grifters, the Peter Schiffs, the Harry Dents, the crypto bankers, the AMC YouTubers, the GameStop YouTubers, all of these people, which I've done many times. My second one was, okay, I think I found the way for retirement, which is crypto, to go from middle class into retirement within the age of 30. So I said, let me broadcast my journey. Let me take you through what I expect in the market and how I see myself getting there. And you'll be my judges. You'll be here. You'll see it. I have the videos. I don't delete them. And let's see what happens. I had 3 goals. Number 1, get to pay my mortgage with crypto. That's pretty much done. Number 2 was retirement at the age of 32. Number 3 was generational wealth. Now, number 1 is pretty much done. Number 2, I hope so. Number 3, it would be a dream, of course. But those have been, I've been consistent in my message throughout the entirety of my time on YouTube. I've never changed. It's always been the same. Oh, question from Maxim. Oh, what is my Twitter? I don't have a Twitter. I think I really need to create it. I really wanted to keep all my communication on YouTube, let's say. Which coin is market cap number 1? Yeah, that would be Pepe. That was the first one. I didn't get on Pepe, by the way, at the time. But I did decide, okay, if Pepe did very well, if this narrative is going to stick, let me try Andy. I picked Andy at the time because there was only one Andy. not competing Andes. There was only one Hoppy, not competing Hoppies, right? Bird Dog, the reason why I sold it, and I did it well because I sold it when Bird Dog was around 5 million or 6 million market cap, was because I didn't like the fact that there were like two of them competing. Each of them was calling the other one a scam. It's very difficult to know which one is which. So I just said, look, I made good enough money for me, I'm out. Boppy, I saw that it was very, a lot of people talking about Draghi, about other characters, but not so much Boppy. Once again, that's where I see the opportunity, is when people are not paying attention. By the time that everybody's paying attention, it's too late. Or the risk reward is much lower, in my view. Oh yeah, sorry, and I forgot. One of the meme coins that I also got in was 7G from Crypto 7. Basically, I will also give it a shot. See how it goes. Once again, lottery ticket, a little bit north of $1,000. If it does very well, very happy. If it goes to zero, I'm also comfortable. So that's the key. Why do I wear a mask? I actually answered that question in my first video. The reason is, well, one reason is anonymity, of course. That's always important in the world we live today. But the most important reason was, when you're listening to someone and when you're checking their videos, there's always a component of either trust or mistrust based on the appearance of the person in front of you. And my idea was, let's see how many people I can get as followers wearing a mask, which should be off-putting for majority of people coming in. But if they stay, they really stay for the content, and I really create, let's say, a loyal, understanding community. What that led was, for you to have an idea, I have 430 videos or something like that. Or this is 430, 431, whatever, one of these videos. Would you believe me? Do you know what is my average like versus dislike ratio in my channel? Is 98.1%. That's right. Out of 400 something videos, 98.1% like it, 1.9% dislike it. That to me is a great motive, great reason to be proud. Because that means I really, really people actually really like what I have to say, and they understand where I'm coming from. And they've seen that a lot of the things that I've said, I haven't called everything correct. I've called some things wrong, but the overall picture, I've done it quite well. I would say well above the majority of the other channels, and most importantly, I charge zero money for it, and I have zero ideas of becoming some sort of religious or cult leader here on YouTube. I have no patience for that, and to be honest, I have no time. I have a full-time job, and I have a wife and a daughter. I don't have time to come here with, trying to somehow live off YouTube or whatever. It's really not for me, and my personality doesn't fit well with it. Sorry, answering your question, what do I think about the incentive token? I think it will do well, like all the other. So the thing is, I've said this before, right? PulseChain, PulseX, etc. They are cycle 2 narratives. They're all part of DeFi. DeFi was very big in 2020, 2021. That was when it was a cycle 1 narrative. Pretty much all chains, or layer 1s, all Uniswap copies, all PancakeSwap copies, etc. All of them did extremely well. They are now cycle 2 narratives, which means they don't pump like a cycle 1 narrative anymore. Some of them do, okay? You still have some unicorns that will perform like crazy, but the majority won't. But they usually pump at the later stages of the market, and they pump, depending on the project, but 50, 75, maybe 100x. I think it's quite around somewhere between 50 and 100x You may have some unicorns that do in the vicinity of 250, 300x. You have others that underperform and they do maybe a 20, 25x, right? What I've done is I've positioned myself in PulseChain, PulseX, etc., in such a way that if the projects do somewhere between 50 and 75x, I'm already very well. So I never bought into this, oh, PulseChain will do a million X, like this kind of stuff. No, I said, okay, let's say it does. If I'm positioned for a 50, 75x, if it does a million, I'm the happiest man on the planet. If it doesn't, I am still okay. See what I mean? That is the point to me. I don't need a 500x, right? I don't need something brutal like that. I just need 50 to 75x, which is kind of average for cycle 2 narratives. But those happen closer to the end of the bull market. So that's why I'm not stressed out that PulseChain is not performing at the price that, first of all, it's extremely linked to Ethereum. So if Ethereum is underperforming, then the derivative of Ethereum, if you will, or the leverage on Ethereum, if you will also kind of underperform. The key is, do I think Ethereum will do very well? Yes. Do I think we're still going to have a very strong 2025 bull market? Yes. Do I think PulseChain ecosystem is very undervalued? Yes. Do I think it will do extremely well, particularly closer towards the end of the bull market? Also, yes. In my opinion. What if it goes to zero and does like garbage? What if it underperforms everything? That's possible. Then I made a bad bet. That's why I'm not trying to entice you to buy it. I'm just telling you which coins I'm invested and why. Now, and don't forget, markets always get it wrong. If you go back to the before PulseChain came out, nobody thought that the incentive token would do very well. Yet, it was the best performer. If you look at, if you measure it from the lows, incentive token was the best performer. Then, in this kind of recovery, nobody was believing in X. Which coin has been the best performer since that? X. Now, nobody is believing in Pulse, PLS. I get the feeling that it will be the best performer. Oh, I honestly thought that you were trying to hide from authorities and wanted to tell you that voice recognition here. No. It's more of a cycle. I have done nothing wrong. Why would I be going away from authorities? I've just given my opinion. And if they would consider what I do financial advice, then they would need to shut down half of YouTube. Because I don't sell anything to anybody. I say 5 times a video that I'm not trying to encourage anybody to doing it. I'm just being actually transparent. I think it was the European Union. They wanted to force YouTubers to basically disclose their positions to their audience before talking about financial matters. I already do it, so I'm already ahead of the regulation that they are thinking about implementing, right? So when did I get into PulseChain? I got in during the sacrifice phase, that was back in 2021. And then I've reduced my cost average quite aggressively during these months of complete underperformance in terms of price. So my cost average is now, I think at the moment, I'm thinking out loud, I think I'm a bit green on Pulse. I'm green on the incentive token. I'm a bit red on PLSX. I'm a bit red on X, Ethereum and Icosa, but I'm not very far away. Yeah, by the way, Maxim, I not want to dwell too much about it, but I live in a place with no capital gains tax for crypto, so I don't even need to do it. So just for you to have an idea. Oh my God, Boppy. You see, this is great. This is what I'm talking about. Because when I was saying about how to pick coins, this is a perfect example here, which is having these people, very active community, lunatics in the good sense of the word. Everybody here understands that. I mean it positively, not as you guys, deserve to be in Bellevue or something. What I'm trying to say is actually, this is the things that you want to see. So I think there is a lot of talks about meme supercycles and a lot of debate. To me, it's great that there's a debate. You see, if there's a meme coin supercycle, there's no debate, right? See, the fact that you're having a debate is actually bullish. See what I mean? That means there's no consensus. When there's consensus about something, then it doesn't happen. So if there's a consensus that the meme coin supercycle is coming, then you don't have it because everybody positions for it, so there's no more buyers left. You need them to be suspicious, to be doubting, to be trashing meme coins, and then they can go up. It's a little bit like when you are in a Telegram group, right, and you have this, what is called soft fudders. So people that go there and they fud their own bags, but softly, not just, this coin is trash, not something like this, but something to the nature, it seems a bit disappointing of this, and then people get mad that they are, that they're fudding the group, and I say, no, once again, you get it wrong. You need people, you need jitters, you need people to sell off their bags, because by the time that everyone is convinced that meme coins are in a super cycle, their Bitcoin's gonna go to 200K, their Bitcoin's gonna go to etc., then it doesn't happen because everyone is already positioned for it. So I'll give you a clear example. How can you get Bitcoin 150K? If people believe that Bitcoin's gonna go to 300K. See what I mean? How can you get Bitcoin 250K? If people believe that Bitcoin's gonna go to 600K or to 1 million. How do you get Bitcoin at 1 million? If people believe Bitcoin's gonna go to 10 million. See what I mean? Otherwise, it doesn't happen. Because I've given this example perfectly with CNBC. There was an article, September 2023. All hedge funds are positioned for $100 oil price. So I said here in this channel, oil price not gonna happen at $100 because these guys are positioned well enough that they are disclosing to the market that they're expecting $100 oil, which means they already bought. Which means because they know that the other people are expecting $100, they will sell it at $94, $95, which was exactly what happened. A few days later, we hit $95 and we never seen $95 ever again, and we are in October 2024. And I said that, I gave an example because sometimes I talk about these things theoretically. But it's more powerful when we are in the middle of an example and say, you see, you guys remember that I was talking about this? Hey, here it is. Another example. I think this was the best one. I'll probably conclude here. Japanese debacle, right? When the 5th of August, I think, when stock market crashes 7% or whatever, Bitcoin crashes 10, 12%. You remember, 5th of August of this year. I came to this channel and I said, look, I've made a lot of videos talking about how to understand. So what I did was I made a video the day before or 2 days before talking about approaching a bottom in crypto, right? And I say, you want to look for something very negative. You want extreme fear in the market. You want people predicting much lower prices. You want all the YouTube channels with red thumbnails, with the hands on their head, pictures of fire behind it, people completely stressed out to the max. Those are your bottom signals. But obviously I'm talking about this and you're really not seeing a bottom, right? So it kind of becomes very hypothetical, right? Then the Japanese situation happens. And I come here to the channel and I say, you remember guys, all we talked about bottom signals, they are on steroids today. Today you have, because they're saying that the Japanese carry trade is only half done, so you need the other 50%, which is going to collapse everything. You have all the major channels saying that there's a fifth target at 30K Bitcoin or 32K, whatever. You have extreme fear in the crypto sentiment. You have complete desperation in Telegram groups. You have Peter Schiff celebrating on Twitter and making Twitter space videos for 3 hours in 2 a.m. in the morning, celebrating and going crazy. You have Peter Schiff posting about the crypto graveyard. And I said, you have Jim Cramer, extremely bearish crypto. And I said, this is your best example. In real life, you're seeing it. This is your bottom. And it was on the day. Once again, it's always the same thing. Same thing with FTX. All contamination fears, the end is here, blah, 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 blah. Same thing in 2021. On the opposite, Coinbase IPO. 2017, Bitcoin futures. 2025, Bitcoin strategic reserve. Maybe. Bitcoin part of investment funds retirement plans. Maybe. Major MicroStrategy becomes a full-fledged Bitcoin software-related company. Maybe. We'll see. See the point? We need now in 2025, we need to find what is going to be the piece of news that's going to be so positive that will throw everyone and their mother into a state of euphoria, and you don't see any chance at all from having a bear market. That's going to be the top. See? When everyone is in agreement, when I come here, there's going to be a time where I come here and I make a video and I say, I think we topped out in Bitcoin. And I'm going to screw up my entire like to dislike ratio. I'm going to be probably insulted in the channel. I think I will lose, 10% of my subscribers overnight. And then 12 months later, I'll probably be right. And people will come around and say, hey, actually, you were right. Yeah. It's the same thing. When I came here and I said Bitcoin at all-time highs, Ivan on Tech saying Bitcoin 90K, Crypto Banter talking about Bitcoin 100K, Discover Crypto talking about Bitcoin 150K, and Left Translated Cycle, and all of this kind of stuff, right? And I had to come here and say, hey guys, the halving is approaching. I expect Bitcoin to go to between $47,000 and $52,000, right? A lot of people got mad when I said that. And then the Japanese debacle happens. Bitcoin goes to 48K. And now, actually, he was right. Yeah. Jim Cramer. I don't think it's even Jim Cramer buying meme coins. I think if Jim Cramer, makes a full episode dedicated to crypto, particularly if he does one fully dedicated to meme coins, that's a top signal as well. But we are very far away. One of the best indicators is, and I think Crypto 7 talks about this, is download the ranking of downloads of Coinbase app on Android, on Google Store and Apple Store. When Coinbase is number one or close to number one, within a week or two, you have the top. Because think about it, if it's the number one downloaded app on your phones, that means that everybody is buying crypto, right? Paulo, prediction for the BTC price for the next week. So I already said, I made this prediction during the Japanese collapse in 5th of August. I said, I expect Bitcoin to be above $80,000 before the end of November. But I said this when Bitcoin was 48,000, right? And everybody was predicting Bitcoin 30,000. So I came here and I said, Bitcoin will be above 80K before end of November. That's my... Now, should you go and trade of it? Should you go leverage trade this? No, of course not. That's not what I'm saying. Corrections. No, we had look, that's a dangerous word for crypto, Paulo, and I'll explain you why. You have bull markets in crypto where Bitcoin goes down 20%, 10%, 15%, 30% all the time. I mean, think about it. Bitcoin just very recently went to 68,000 and then sold off to 64,000. That's like a 7.5% drop, right? That is a correction in the stock market. We kind of call it a correction when that happens, right? So I guess you had a one-day correction because the other day it was already at 68 again. So you're going to have moments of Bitcoin dropping 10, 15, 20, 25%, and you're going to have moments of altcoins going down 50-60%. Like example, Boppy. You see a lot of people here on Boppy, right? So I got in on Boppy at 608K market cap. It goes to 2.4 million or 2.5 million dollar. That was the highest I've seen it. And then it sold off to like 1.1 million. And now it's at 1.7, 1.8 million the last time that I checked. Maybe it dropped, maybe it went up, I don't know. But it was around 1.7, right? So 2.5 to 1.1, that's more than a 50% drop. So that is a bear market, if you want to call it like that. So can Bitcoin go to 66, 65? Yeah, sure. I mean, that's why I don't concern myself so much with weekly price metrics. Is mostly the liquidity cycles, mostly the end of cycle targets. Then what I do is here and there, I see everybody so bullish. I'm not so much yet, actually. You don't even have retail anymore here. I don't think it's that bullish, actually. If you look at the crypto sentiment, I think a few weeks ago, the crypto sentiment was extreme fear, like 3 weeks or 4 weeks ago. And now I think it's somewhere around neutral. So I think, look, can it happen? By the way, Paul, I'm going to address your question. Can it happen? Can you have a shakeout before the pump? Can you have, for example, the Orange Man winning and you have like a buy the rumor, sell the news event kind of stuff for about 3 or 4 days? Sure. But maybe you don't. Right? Maybe it lasts 12 hours of sell-off. Maybe it lasts, you see, so to me it's more, okay, do I think Bitcoin's going to end the cycle above 200K? I think so. Okay. So should I concern myself with a 200K Bitcoin or with what's going to be the price over second week of December? End of the cycle. Right? That should matter more to me than is December going to be up or is December going to be the first week up, the second week down. Don't forget, just now, first half of October, everyone was very pissed. As soon as everybody got very pissed, boom, we go up. It's amazing. Yeah, so what I've seen in this cycle, it is important, by the way, Paul, thank you very much for your comments because this reminds me of something. This has been the most PTSD cycle that I've ever seen. And you can tell because we have a lot of people now here, which is September. Oh, September is green. Everybody's so happy. Then October, we have 2 weeks of bad price action in October. Everybody is depressed. Now the bull market is officially over. Oh, October, no more. Now it's Rectober. Blah, blah, blah. And then we go up 5 days. Yes. It's like, I mean, I've never seen such a polar craziness on crypto like this year. Like this cycle. This cycle has been crazy. That's why I think people will also keep on front running the cycle. Because, they front run the pump into the halving. They front run the selling into the halving. They front run the Memecoin aggressive first season. They are front running a lot of things. One of the things that I've said this before is the majority of altcoins, or at least let's call it 50% of altcoins, top 12 months after the Bitcoin halving. So that would be April 2025. Will they front run it a little bit and be March 2025? Possible. But I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of altcoins will top out in March and April 2025. Now, that doesn't mean all of them. That doesn't mean that we're not going to have someone going later into the year. That's not what I'm saying. Yeah, but it's purely, Paul, the way they behave is purely PTSD. Like every time, like I seen channels saying, oh, Bitcoin crashed today. Why? And it was basically a video about how Bitcoin went from 67 to 66,000. Crash. And the guy was panicking. I mean, it's just, you can tell there's so much PTSD in this cycle. It's crazy. That's why everyone is so obsessed with profit taking, front running, all of this. It is all part of the same psychological effect. But well, guys, we are approaching 1 hour. Thank you very much for being here today. I apologize for a little bit of an issue in the beginning of the video. I really appreciate the effort of you guys to be here. I hope you find some decent content here. I hope you drop that like and subscribe if you haven't done so. And I guess I'll catch you in the next one. And good luck to all the communities. Once again, I'm not anti other communities. I appreciate all your efforts, and I appreciate your loyal following of the channel. And I wish you the best going forward, and that you can also achieve whatever it's your target for this cycle. And with that, thank you very much for your support, and I'll catch you in the next one.